EcoBoost was supposed to be the future of trucks, but for years, it came with a question mark. Now, Ford says that is finally over. The 2026 F-150 isn't just updated, it feels completely reworked from the inside out. For more than a decade, EcoBoost stood for a bold idea: smaller engines, turbocharged power, and real efficiency without giving up performance. On paper, it sounded perfect, especially in a truck like the F-150. And at first, it delivered strong torque, impressive towing, and a V6 that could challenge older V8s. But the story was never that simple. As miles piled up, so did concerns. Owners started noticing patterns that were hard to ignore. Carbon buildup from direct injection systems, timing chain wear in higher mileage engines, turbo heat issues under heavy use, intercooler moisture problems in certain conditions. None of these issues destroyed every engine, but they showed up often enough to shape the reputation. And that reputation mattered. Truck buyers don't just care about power, they care about dependability over years of work. EcoBoost delivered performance, but long-term trust was not always consistent. Ford knew this, and instead of rushing a quick fix, they took a different path. Over several model years, they quietly refined the EcoBoost piece by piece. Small upgrades, material changes, software improvements, all building towards something bigger. By the time the 2026 F-150 arrived, those changes finally came together. This is where things shift. The 3.5-liter EcoBoost in the 2026 model may look familiar on paper, but internally, it's a different engine. One of the biggest upgrades is the fully matured dual injection system. Our earlier versions relied heavily on direct injection, which improved efficiency but led to carbon buildup over time. Now, with optimized port and direct injection working together, that issue is largely eliminated while also improving combustion stability. Ford also strengthened critical internal components. Timing systems now use improved materials, better tensioners, and refined lubrication paths. It's not flashy, but it directly targets long-term durability. Then, there's the turbo system. Better cooling, stronger materials, and more precise boost control mean the engine delivers power more smoothly, without sudden stress spikes. This isn't a patch, it's a complete rethink of what EcoBoost was supposed to be. And for the first time in years, it feels like Ford actually solved the problems instead of working around them for good this time. Now the improvements don't stop at internal hardware. One of the most important changes in the 2026 F-150 is how Ford tackled heat and airflow management across the entire system. Turbochargers have always been the heart of EcoBoost performance, but also one of the most stressed components. In earlier versions, heat buildup could affect consistency, especially under heavy towing or long drives. Now Ford has redesigned the cooling pathways, introduced more heat-resistant materials, and refined boost control to react faster and more precisely. The result is an engine that feels smoother and more controlled under pressure. Instead of sudden bursts of power, acceleration now builds in a predictable and linear way. That alone changes how the truck feels behind the wheel. Another major fix comes from the intercooler system. In the past, moisture could build up in certain climates, leading to hesitation or misfires. For 2026, Ford didn't just apply a temporary fix. They redesigned the airflow and thermal balance to prevent condensation from forming in the first place. That's a permanent solution, not a workaround. All of these upgrades become obvious the moment you start driving. The 2026 F-150 feels more refined, more stable, and far more confidence-inspiring than previous EcoBoost models. Power delivery is one of the biggest differences. Earlier versions could feel unpredictable when the turbos kicked in hard. Now, the engine responds smoothly. giving you controlled acceleration instead of sudden surges. It feels precise, not just powerful. For truck owners, towing is where this matters most. The new EcoBoost doesn't just pull harder, it pulls smarter. Torque stays consistent under load, heat buildup is reduced during long hauls, and the engine works more seamlessly with the transmission. Fleet testing has already shown that the 2026 model maintains stable performance even after hours of towing. That's a major improvement compared to older versions that could feel strained over time. There's also a noticeable reduction in overall engine stress. It's not something you measure on paper, but you can feel it. The engine sounds calmer, runs smoother, and doesn't feel like it's working as hard even when it is. That usually points to better efficiency, improved cooling, and stronger internal balance, exactly what EcoBoost needed to finally earn long-term confidence. The biggest question has always been reliability, and that is where the 2026 F-150 makes its strongest statement yet. Early indicators already point to meaningful improvements across the board. Owners and testers are reporting lower oil consumption, fewer turbo-related concerns, smoother cold starts, and more consistent performance in different climates. That kind of consistency is exactly what builds long-term trust. Ford didn't just fix weak spots, they added margin. Components are now designed to handle more stress than they typically experience. That approach is what allows an engine to age well instead of developing problems as miles increase. Another major advantage comes from how well the EcoBoost now works with Ford's hybrid system. The PowerBoost setup feels more integrated than ever before. Electric torque fills in gaps instantly, reducing turbo lag and easing strain on the engine during city driving. At the same time, efficiency improves without sacrificing performance. This combination makes the truck feel smarter, not just stronger. And for buyers, that changes everything. For years, truck owners had to choose. EcoBoost offered power and efficiency, but traditional engines still held the edge in long-term confidence. The 2026 F-150 removes that trade-off. Now you can have both. From an industry perspective, this is a major moment. Ford stayed committed to the EcoBoost idea even when criticism grew. Instead of abandoning it, they refined it until it delivered on its original promise. There is also an emotional shift happening here. Trust is returning. Truck buyers are loyal, but they remember past issues. The 2026 model feels like a reset, where the engine no longer feels like a risk. In the end, the 2026 F-150 is not just another update. It represents years of refinement finally coming together. The EcoBoost is no longer a question mark. It is a proven strength. And that is why this truck truly changes everything for drivers, for Ford, and for the future of modern pickups today. What this really means is simple. The balance between power, efficiency, and durability finally exists in one package. Drivers no longer have to second-guess their engine choice when it comes to daily work or long hauls. For longtime Ford fans, this feels like redemption. For skeptics, it is a reason to take another look. And for the entire truck segment, it raises expectations moving forward. Now, the EcoBoost story is not about potential anymore. It's